Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. I'm so happy you could stop by for another episode of Greymo TV. Today is a very special day. I'm sharing very deep stories with you. This is going to be my first episode of my series of Storytime with Grace. I want to share more stories about myself here on this platform. I believe some of them will be therapy for me, and maybe some of them will be educative for someone. And so without wasting so much time, let's get started. Before we go any further, guys, if you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly go subscribe right now. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. You can share this with your family and friends. It will be an awesome thing for me if you guys could subscribe to this channel. Now, the first thing, I will give you guys 2 minutes to subscribe. Now guys, here's the story. This is where it begins. Most of you, as you've read by the title of this video, I'm going to be very candid and very honest with you guys on this video today. And what I'm about to talk about is not something that I would just go around sharing or opening up to anybody. I've so far only told my husband about this story. It happened many years ago, but I felt there is a need to awaken a conversation amongst parents, amongst teenagers, amongst other people, to sit back and think about our children and the future of our children. Now, it happened very many years ago. I was born and brought up in Meru, Kenya, which is in Africa. And so for that matter, growing up, we had just a normal childhood, you would say, and everything was okay. But I do know for a fact that both my parents were working at that time when we were born, and most of the time we were in the hands of the house helps and mostly relatives, because our parents used to work morning to evening. Okay, so long story short, as we were growing up, we had this shamba boy, or farm boy if you would rather say that, and he was around the age, say, of about 10, 12, 13, or around that age, because he wasn't yet into the man, he hadn't crossed the man side of things, if you know what I'm saying, in terms of circumcision and all, because in Kenya there is a culture that when the boys turn 13, 14, that's when they go and get circumcised, and then they move from boys to men, that is. So we had this farm boy in our home, and I do remember he was around all the time because he would spend the days and nights in our house. So there was no, I believe there was some sort of trust from my parents that he was okay. But there came a point, I believe I was maybe around 6 or 7 years old at that time, and it's really vague memories that I do remember about my age, because then I was very young. I did not remember, but this thing I do remember very vividly, because I do remember we used to love to play a lot in our farm, and at that time there was so many crops in the farm. When I say crops, our farm is very big, 7-acre farm, and so my parents had farmed a lot of maize, that is the corn, at that time, and I remember it was almost my height right now, because then if we were kids, we would play hide and seek inside the farm, and we could just hide and not be seen because they were very tall. And so one day, I remember, as we were playing in the farm, this farm boy came. He started drawing something on the ground, that is on the soil, and I could not figure out. We were just playing, and he started drawing something on the floor. And for me, it was just like just anything else. You know, you're just a kid going about your business, playing and doing all sorts of things that kids do. And when he was done drawing the things he was drawing, then he asked me, what is this? What do you know? What is this? And I do remember I was in the company of, I think, 2 other kids. I do not remember who they were exactly, but this is what happened. And I was like, these are 2 guys. And so the drawing was like 2 people facing each other. I couldn't tell they were male or female, because then again my mind was like, you know, very young, and I was very naive as well. So I just told him, these are 2 people facing each other. And he was like, no, they're not. These are people having they're being intimate, for lack of a better word. There are 2 people being intimate. And I was like, what exactly is that? I have no clue. I have no idea what that is, what you're talking about. And he went further, deeper, to explain himself. And at this time, guys, remember, I'm just 6 or 7 years old, maybe around the age of my son right now, who is 5.5. And so for me, it was blah at that time. And as he continued to explain, it just couldn't even sink in my head, whatever he was saying. And so it came to a point where he just said, let's go to the house and I will explain it to you further what I mean. And so we accompanied him to the house. By the way, guys, as I filmed this video, I haven't sought permission from anybody. I'm not mentioning any names because I don't even remember the people that were involved in this scene in the first place. But this is just to educate or help other parents or people that could be in my position to understand that these things do happen, and it's very real. And in the society and community we're living in today, things are happening, and we cannot be silent about them. We cannot just ignore what is happening in and around us, especially with our children. So going back to my story, we went back to the house, and I remember we went back to the house, and we went to our bedroom. And this was around almost lunchtime. I remember my mom used to come back to lunch because she used to teach in a nearby school, and she would come back at lunchtime to have her lunch and then go back to school. So when it was almost around that time, and so this boy, he led us to our bedroom. Remember, mind you, he never used to sleep in our bedroom. He used to sleep in an outside room, outside of our house. So we went inside our bedroom. And now, I really do not remember who was in this scene with me, because it's so blur. But I do remember we were either 2 girls or something. And so he told us, you guys have to lay on one another. And in the process of that, my mom walked in, and the only thing that happened, we were just given a very thorough beating, guys. Very thorough beating. We received thorough, massive beating from my mom. She did not explain why. She did not explain to us why we were being beaten. But to cut the story short, we just left with pain without knowing. We just knew that it was something wrong that we had done that deserved being punished of, but we didn't know exactly what it was about. Why am I saying this story right now? There are parents who leave their children with helps. It's not wrong to do that. But then, how involved are you with your children? How involved are you when you come back at home to your children? Do you engage them? Do you care to know how their day went? How they're relating with the people around them? What is happening? Have you built enough trust with your child so that they can open up to you if something goes wrong? Because for our case, if my mom had not walked in, God knows what would have happened. Nothing happened to us. So just to clarify, nothing happened to us. But ask yourself, What if my mom was maybe few minutes late, or she decided not to come that day home? Things would maybe have gotten worse. The boy would just have decided to show him, to explain further himself what he meant by being intimate, and so in the process we would have been victims of rape or something like that. So get to ask yourself questions. When your kids are spending the day with people that you think you trust, do you come back home and try to inquire how the day was, what these children are being taught about by these people that you've entrusted your children with? Do you care to understand when your child's mode changes, or their style of living changes suddenly, and you don't feel like they're acting normal? Do you care to know what is happening to them, or you just think it's another stage and it's going to pass by? My purpose for making this video today is to start a conversation amongst parents to want to know deeper. I never understood or was never taught about sex by my own parents, because African tradition, it was a taboo to even talk about it. But think about the impact it would have caused. Many parents, even up to date, they're not comfortable talking to their children about this kind of stuff, and they expect the children to be well behaved, not to engage in these kinds of acts. But they've not told them the repercussions or the consequences or the aftermath of what is about to happen if they engage in these kinds of things. They expect the teachers to teach them. They expect the society to teach them. Where is our role? Where is our responsibility as the parents? I challenge you as a parent today. Begin by teaching. Begin by talking to your child. Begin by teaching that child and telling them this and this. Show them the way, and they shall follow it. They shall be open to you even when that time comes. Don't think these things will just happen because, oh, you're prayerful, you're acting in a way that, or you fear God. These conversations need to happen. Even in the church nowadays, things are happening. We've had so many cases of boys being sodomized by priests and all that stuff. Why can we continue to be quiet about issues that are affecting our children, our society, our community? Why would we wait until a girl comes home pregnant and then that's why we get to start conversing about the situation, when we didn't teach her that going around and engaging in with boys in a sexual, intimate way would cause her to be pregnant? Why would we start a conversation when the water is already spilled? Let us start now. I wish my parents opened up to me. I wish they would have sat us down to teach us a thing or two about what to expect when we go out there, but we never got this. We got it from the society. I do not blame them, because I got to learn through school and other platforms. But would I have wanted it different? Yes, of course. I would have wanted to build that trust, to have that gap filled, that I could feel open with my parents to tell them the challenges I was going through. Maybe if this was something that I would have gone to them and said, oh yeah, our farm boy tried to do ABCD and this is what happened. But do you think I could have? Because I was very naive. It was just another game for us. I didn't know anything. But maybe if I had, one of my parents maybe had hinted about this thing, then I would have known this is something wrong. And if this guy had tried to approach me in that manner, then I would have known to say, no, this is not right. So the challenge goes to you parents. The challenge goes to all of us. Let's make our society better. Let's take care of our children. Let us involve and engage our children in tough conversations. They are tough conversations, but we really need to have these conversations for the progress and for the benefit and for the future of our children. Let us not leave this to the teachers and to the society. The internet is very corrupt today. We find all sorts of things on the internet. This is what our children are exposed to. But why can't we start in our homes and teach our children before it gets out there, before they get out there to the world? At least they will know from our lips. They will know from our own experiences. They will have been taught by the first person that they trusted, their parents. This is a challenge to you and me to become better. And this series is going to continue. Hopefully, if you guys like this video, kindly share this to as many as you can. Let us get our parents motivated and challenged to talk about tough conversations, to have those tough conversations with their children, because then we cannot change our children's behavior, our children's future by just sitting and keeping quiet, by just praying. We need to have the conversations, those tough conversations that we feel are uncomfortable. They are very necessary for our children's tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Have a blessed time. See you on my next story time with Grace, coming soon. Bye bye.